Welcome to CBC Windsor News at 6. I'm Meg Roberts. Tonight is going to be a little bit different because we have a very special broadcast for you. Instead of doing the show here from my usual spot, we're heading out into the community for a good cause. It's our annual Sounds of the Season event where we collect food and donations for the UHC Hub of Opportunities. And the demand is greater than ever. The food bank is recording a massive increase in the number of new community members using their services. So we're here at the University of Windsor's School of Creative Arts in downtown Windsor. Let's head inside for some special programming, live guests, and musical performances. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. As you can see, we're in the beautiful Armories building, part of the University of Windsor campus. We are so excited to be here for our annual Sounds of the Season broadcast. We know that it's been a challenging year for many in our community. The rising cost of goods and inflation has come with major impacts. Here at the university, students are facing some unique challenges as well. The food banks on campus have seen some dramatic increases in the amount of people using them. Joining us now to talk about them is Galia Hashim. She's the president of the University of Windsor Student Alliance here. You have a food bank on campus. How many people would be walking through your doors in a week?
Excellent question. Usually we have a demand for around 700 to 1,000 students to actually come to the food bank. But right now we've put a limit on 50 people per day to allow us to give those students goods that actually help them and benefit them. Just because we recognize that the demand is a lot more than what we can sustainably have right now with our volunteers and with the amount of students that are requesting help.
What do those numbers say to you? That's a huge amount of students.
Oh, absolutely. It's heartwarming to know that people know that the food pantry exists for them to use, but at the same time, it definitely brings to light the fact that students from all walks of life do have a need for food products. We decided to take a different route with our food pantry this year and allow them to include other options, not just food products. So that kind of helps them choose things, and we hope that that allows students to feel more comfortable coming to the food pantry as well.
Well, I know stigma can prohibit people from using the food bank, of course, and I understand you're trying to eliminate that a little bit. In what ways are you trying to do that?
It's like we're on the same wavelength. I love this. So right now what we're trying to do is we're trying to rebrand the food pantry and let it be not just about food, because we recognize that food insecurity is a huge issue. But like you mentioned, it is a stigmatized subject. And we know that some students won't come to seek the service if they are going to be portrayed to be someone in need of food. So now in the food pantry, we've included other items. We have some books, we have articles of clothing, we have menstrual products and other healthcare products, even basic school supplies. So that way when students come in, no one knows what they're actually coming in for. They could be coming in for a pencil for all we know. It's just there to ensure that students feel safe, that they're welcomed, and that their identity remains as anonymous as possible.
And how can students access the food pantry?
Very simple process. Still working through some tweaks, but as of right now, all they have to do is send an email to our food pantry email. And then as soon as they get an email, they'll get a reply from either myself or one of our hardworking volunteers. And as soon as they get an appointment booked, they can come in, they get a small section of time just for them to be in the area alone, pick out what they need, and then they're on their way.
Well, thank you so much for your time and being a part of this broadcast. We really appreciate that. That was Galia Hashim. She's the president at the University of Windsor's Student Alliance. Now, community support is essential. Just take it from one local mom who's had experience living below the poverty line. Tonight, we're sharing her story of strength and resiliency and also the power of giving back. Nadine Sakarak didn't know she was pregnant until she was almost 6 months along. She was 19 years old with limited resources and no money. She brought her son Dylan into the world.
I remember running away, and I had literally nothing. And then with open arms, my parents, accepted my situation.
She lived in a small apartment, sleeping on the couch, surviving on part-time work and welfare. She relied on food banks and her son's schools, lost and found.
I took things at the end of the year that no one would claim, such as old uniforms for the next year and getting bigger sizes. So I had to get smart and savvy about that type of stuff.
Lots of good stuff.
After years of hard work, Sakarak finds herself in a different situation. Now able to afford clothing, she spends hours making sure others don't go without. Volunteering for Cuddles Clothing for Kids, a nonprofit run out of Assumption Parish on McEwen Avenue that collects and distributes clothing for children and teens.
I have a passion to help other moms, single moms, and like even families struggling. I just have a heart for kids that I don't think anyone should go without at any time.
She says the need has grown since the program started in 2014, with up to 200 people accessing their service on any given Friday.
Our program runs from 9 till noon, and they're already lining up at like 7 a.m. all the way down to the street to come in.
She says the most common group of people coming in are newcomers, single mothers and grandparents who are caring for their grandchildren. Sakarak says she sees herself in a lot of the faces that come in.
When you experience hardships and stuff and the struggle, it's just so difficult. No one sees the behind the scenes that a single mom or grandparents or anyone is going through for that matter. And that's why it drives me to do what I do.
Well, we just heard from the University of Windsor Student Alliance about a massive increase in the number of students using the food pantry. To talk more about how the University of Windsor is helping, I'm joined now by Shatina Jones. You're the Associate Vice President at the University of Windsor. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
We've heard about the need at the campus food bank. It's increasing dramatically. What is the institution doing to help ensure students have their basic needs met?
So we're doing a number of different things. So we're looking at doing additional food drives and also looking at ways to combat food insecurity. So this looks like not only just providing food, providing other opportunities for us to have food sustainability as well. So just not just one meal, but looking at other ways to create more meals as well. So we're doing a number of different things, both on and off campus.
Experts have made predictions that grocery prices are going to continue to increase in the next year. You know, is the university planning to kind of support students in that way?
So we're looking at different ways to not only support students, but to figure out how can we make an impact in this area so that we can have a strategic way of doing this, and not just a food drive here, a food drive there, or not just even just with our food bank, but how can we institutionalize this to prevent this in the future?
All right, well, you're helping the UHC. We're gonna call June up now. She's the CEO of the Unemployed Help Center. I believe you have something here for her.
I do.
Yes, I think we have it right behind here. It's the moment. Yeah. There we are.
Wow. Thank you very much.
You know, yes. Why was it important for the university to do this?
So it's always important for us to we're a part of this community. So being a part of this community and doing something to have a community impact is important. So you're gonna see this and much, much more.
Perfect. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you being here. That is the Associate Vice President of the University of Windsor, Shatina Jones. Thank you so much. Thank you. Well, Sounds of the Season gives us the opportunity to give back to the community. And a school in South Windsor is giving back in a big way. Last year, Massey Secondary filled an entire school bus with food. And this year, they're planning on doing even bigger. So I went out with them earlier this week with some of the students to send out some flyers to the neighbors.
So we're stopping and we're trying to canvass around our neighborhood and drop off flyers for the can drive that we're doing for Vincent Massey Secondary School.
How many houses are you going to be going to?
Around 10,000.
10,000 houses?
Yeah. We're hoping to fill up a truck. If we can't get a truck, we're hoping to fill up 2 buses this year. Because it did so well last year and we were able to fill up that 1 bus, we know that there's much more people in demand this year, especially with many things that are going on around the world and the new people that are coming into Canada. And so we're just doing the best that we can to try to help out anyone we can.
What would you say is the importance of getting out in the community and doing this?
I say the big thing is there's a lot of people in need in our community. I can relate to it a bit at home. There's people every month that will go and rely on food, so the more we can get, the better it is for the community.
Our leadership class, we try to do things that will benefit us, but also people around our school.
We did this last year, and I think it was a great success, but they knew we wanted to do more. So when I said, we're really going to try and do this big this year, they all bought in. So they're really excited to try and do it. And I think we have a lot of fortunate people in this school. And when we recognize that, we also recognize that there are other people that aren't as fortunate.
All right, so we're going to take a little break from Sounds of this Season just to give you a few headlines of the day. Now, the town of Kingsville could be getting grinchy about Christmas lights next year, and one family with a big display says they're feeling targeted. The Williams Light Show on Marshwood Boulevard offers a massive outdoor spectacle every holiday season at their private home. The computer-coordinated show involves 65,000 bulbs set to a variety of music. Since 2017, the show has attracted thousands of admirers and raised money for charity. But the town of Kingsville is describing the display as extreme. On Monday, council will discuss requiring permits in the future, which is frustrating the show's founder.
We went through the song and dance multiple times with the town of Kingsville, more specifically with the previous mayor, previous administration, and previous council. We thought this was all put to bed about 2 years ago. There are about 2 or 3 neighbors that are complaining. We know who those neighbors are. They've voiced their opinions in the past. They simply want to appease the couple neighbors that are having issues instead of listening to the community as a whole. This event brings a lot to the town of Kingsville, and everyone loves it. And we're not gonna put bylaws in place, and we're not gonna change things just to appease a couple unhappy neighbors.
Caldwell First Nations met with municipal officials today to work toward putting truth and reconciliation into practical policies. Politicians from the city and Essex County met today at the Ojibwe Nature Center. One of the ways they say they can work together would be through economic development.
So I'm really honored to be here today with such wonderful leadership, people that we've been working with, good souls that have come together, have come to Caldwell's event. To work with us, and it's been a great day, and I look forward to this just being the first day and further meetings after this where we can really, grow as communities together.
Well, still to come, we're going to take a quick peek at your weekend weather forecast. Also coming up later in the show, we're going to speak to the CEO of the Unemployed Help Center. Now, before we go to commercial break, we have a very special guest with us here. This is the University of Windsor Chamber Choir. They're performing a holiday tune. That's ahead of their concert tomorrow night at Our Lady of Assumption Church.
Let's go for a sleigh ride, a wonderful sleigh ride. Come hurry along with the song and a wish green world to fly. Just hear the sleigh bells jingling, ring ting tingling too. Come on, it's lovely weather for a sleigh ride together with you. Take a ride together with you. It's snowing and the friends are calling you.
Time for a quick look at weather. Let's head straight to Colette Kennedy to see what the weekend forecast looks like.
Yeah, thanks, Meg. You know, we looked at this yesterday, this graphic behind me with all the temperatures in the Midwest and the really, really mild air there. And I just wanted to use it again to illustrate how I said it was coming from west to east and headed our way. And sure enough, we're seeing those double digits very close by. And for a time, we were experiencing that too. We were up to 10 degrees a little bit earlier, well into the warm sector. But that does also mean that the backside of this system is getting closer too. And once that comes through, we will have an end to the mild conditions. But it's not happening yet. So looking at the current readings, 9s all around, exceptional a little further east, Kitchener there at 8 degrees. Now the flow out of the south, and of course the winds today at times, these are the sustained winds, have been gusty over 40 kilometers an hour. And looking ahead, we'll continue to deal with the gusts being on the stronger side, especially into tomorrow morning. We'll see some of those picking up for a time, even over 50 kilometers an hour, and could have a few spikes in there. And that's really as we get that frontal boundary coming in a little bit closer. So yes, a lot of sun early in the day today. Then we've been dealing with more cloud cover, and that's really going to be the trend as we are going to have to deal with this. But what I will say is most of the more organized and heavier rain really is going to pull north. So we do get into some midday showers through tomorrow, but otherwise ahead of that, you'll be able to enjoy the conditions. Then we will get some clearing behind it, but just know that Sunday, the cooler air will be filtering in as well. But when we really look at the numbers in terms of what we're seeing with the rainfall amounts, anything significant is further to the east. And so I tell you that in the sense that if you're traveling, it is a weekend, that's where you'll have the more wet conditions, but really mild overnight tonight. That temperature, in fact, will be coming up again as we head towards the morning hours, and then all the way to 14 degrees. Not a bad day tomorrow. But then, of course, Meg, we will deal with the cooler air that's going to push us back closer to seasonal.
Well, thanks so much for that, Colette. Coming up, we're going to chat with the CEO of the Unemployed Help Center. Stay tuned. Welcome back to our special Sounds of the Season live broadcast here at the University of Windsor School of Creative Arts. Joining us now is June Muir. She's the CEO of the UHC Hub of Opportunities. June, we've raised, I think, up to $10,000 so far for your organization.
Wow, that's a lot of money, and we need it. So thank you very, very much.
The number of people the UHC serves is up dramatically today compared to pre-COVID. How is your organization able to support everyone when the need is so great?
So we have to think outside of the box. We have to reach out and ask people to conduct food drives. We have to host events, and it's something like this that makes it all happen and helps us feed individuals. We went pre-pandemic from serving 300 hampers a week to now 1,500 hampers a week at the UHC Hub of Opportunities. So very difficult to keep up, and our community is there to help us, and we're very thankful.
When people come to the UHC looking for help, what types of stories are you hearing about how difficult it is to afford basic needs?
It's really difficult. So we had a grocery store model, and now they line up for food. So I wanted to share that because you wouldn't line up for food unless you needed food. And we have families. 44% that access our services are on OW or ODSP. The rest are working. We had a 64% increase in the number of first-time users. I think that tells the story. And so it's working people, more working people today. And when they come to our food bank and we are giving food out at 80 knocks and it's outside or a walk-up model, and we are turning people away because we run out of food hampers, it's devastating. And they're working and they're trying to survive. But how do you do that when you pay rent, hydro, and then try to buy food?
We have a special donation here from the Windsor Islamic Center, We Dad. Why was this important for the Windsor Islamic Association to, donate to this cause?
You know, we have our Islamic Social Welfare and Assistance Program, which serves hundreds of families around Windsor. The mosque wants to contribute back to people in Windsor as much as we can. This is not just for Muslim Windsorites, it's for absolutely anybody that needs it. So we have around like $30,000 a month that we spend towards our food bank project, for example, which helps around 300 families. And we also have a veggie distribution day once a week where we have partnered up with a local farm, which comes and delivers their leftover vegetables, and that usually is on a drop-in basis. So that's open to anybody. And I think around 150 to 300 families benefit from that. So it's very important for us to be able to give back in these ways. And so when we heard that this was something that we could contribute to, we thought it would be a nice opportunity as well.
Thank you very much. June, how much do donations like this one and the one that the University of Windsor made earlier on in the program help the UHC overall?
So it's going to help because we're able to buy the items that are donated, like eggs, meat, milk, and a selection of diverse foods. So monetary donations are very, very important. We can bulk buy, and we always appreciate getting a monetary donation.
For people who are wondering, what are the best forms of food or canned goods? What is most important for the UHC to receive in terms of goods?
So we always ask for children's snacks, tuna, canned tuna, high protein items, rice, beans. We are just so happy to get a food donation.
Your predictions for the rest of the season. We're just coming up on the holidays now. What do you predict into those really cold months?
So we're predicting an increase. Obviously, we haven't hit our highest season yet. Christmas is the time when we find that our numbers really do increase. And with what we've just seen, we know it's going to increase drastically. So we're going to do our best to be there for everyone we can.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. Thank you to both of you. That is June Muir, the CEO of the UHC Hub of Opportunities. All right, well, that's it for us tonight. A big thank you to everyone who came out tonight. We really appreciate it. And of course, thank you to the everyone who donated. To the University of Windsor for hosting us in this beautiful location. A big shout out to my co-workers. We might be a small team, but we're mighty. And a special thanks to Denise Christoph. She came out of retirement in order to help us put this together. So we really, really appreciate that. Thanks so much for tuning in. Hope you have a great weekend. And to finish out the show, we've got the University of Windsor Choir.
One can hear the falling snow, for all is hushed, the world is sleeping. Holy is our vigil keeping. Still, still, still. One can hear the falling snow. Sleep, sleep, sleep. 'Tis the eve of our Savior's birth. The night is peaceful all around you. Close your eyes, let sleep surround you. Sleep, sleep, sleep. 'Tis the eve of our Savior's birth. Dream